viewers, you're welcome to MCC, Marriage Counseling Club, on Infinite Film TV, and I'm your host, Beji Adobe. On this show, we talk about marriage and issues related to it. Marriage is an institution which brings a man and a woman from different backgrounds, ethnic groups, and social class together, built on their love, respect, and understanding of each other. Based on that, we want to use this show to explore marriage and everything about it. For today's topic, we're going to be talking on the role of sex in every marriage. And for that, we've invited two beautiful ladies who are marriage counselors to educate us on the role of sex in marriages.
Pastor Cynthia,
a lot of people believe that sex is important in marriage, and some believe that sex is not important in marriage. So what do you believe? How important do you think sex is in a marriage?
Thank you very much. First of all, I have to start from what is marriage. Marriage is nothing but a union God cherished so much. God is the one that built marriage. In Genesis 1:28, God defined, go into the world. Marriage is all about coming together with understanding in companionship. Then, what is sex? Sex is like an oil, an engine oil you put in a vehicle. When there's no oil to lubricate the engine gets crash. And that's exactly what sex is. So any marriage that does not have a unified and adventurous sex crashes.
Are you trying to say that sex is the engine of every marriage?
Every marriage that lacks sex, the engine of that vehicle is...
Wow, that's actually a new one. Mrs. Ifeanyi, what do you think? What's your opinion? What do you have to say?
Okay, from my own opinion, sex is very important in marriage. And I will give you a little illustration,
Okay.
or some points to tell you how important sex is in marriage. First of all, you don't marry someone you don't have a sexual feeling for. That is how important it is. Because I think I've met women who say they don't have any kind of feeling for their husband sexually. And then that is where you see infidelity coming from. So when you are getting married to someone you're not sexually attracted to, it's a sign that this isn't going to work. And then again, I can tell you that I'm a Catholic. And in the Catholic Church, when a marriage is not consummated, from the wedding night to at least some days, is enough reason to annul that marriage.
But are you trying to say that in the Catholic Church, I haven't really heard of this one, I'm just hearing it
I'm telling you now.
Okay? When you don't consummate your marriage, you have the right, you can annul that marriage.
Enough reason for the church to annul that marriage.
Okay, so this is, okay, just, they say divorce is not good, divorce is against the law of the church and stuff like that. So I think you're trying to say that this is one of the reasons you can have a divorce and nobody's going to say anything about it.
I am not saying divorce now. The word I used is annulment.
It's same as divorce.
It's not. Because let me tell you, annulment is, marriage has some components that should make it marriage. It's like a pot that have contents that should be complete, that should be consent. There are a lot of things. There's consent from the both of them. If a marriage is forced on two people, it can be annulled too. But I don't want us to go into divorce. Now, I'm just telling you that sex in marriage is as important as if it is not there. If a marriage is constituted in the church and the priest blesses it and they go home and maybe one of them has some reasons why he cannot satisfy the other person sexually, and he has those reasons and he has kept it to himself or herself, that marriage can be annulled by the church. That means that the marriage is empty. Those things that should make it a marriage are not there. He wasn't divorced. The church assumes that there was no marriage in the first place. Wow. So this is how important it is. So at least these 2 points, and the fact that marriage is a lot of stress, is a lot of work. Sex is that pleasure part of marriage. Sex is that relaxation part of marriage. So when you don't take it as seriously as it is, I wonder.
Ambassador Cynthia, knowing how sex is very important in marriage, is there any particular time for couples to have sex?
In marriage, 2 is coming together to become one. Are you telling me they're supposed to have a timetable? The other one will watch and say, okay, this is the time for us to have sex.
Some people, according to their busy schedules, they say, okay, honey, let's map out time. We get to have sex, let me say, on Monday.
That same busy schedule is the major problem we have divorce today. It's the major problem. So many marriages are having infidelity. The truth is this, marriage, there's no time for sex. There's no particular place. Just like I said in your first question, I answered that sex is an adventure. Make yourselves to be fruitful, to be fun, to be adventure. So you have sex anywhere, provided that you don't expose little kids. Sex can be taken anywhere, and make sure that there's fun. You satisfy the next person. You adventure into it. You make it lively. Everybody will be happy at the end of the day. Do you know one thing? So many men today moves elsewhere to be able to get this joy. Because of what? Their wives always believe that sex is always done 12 a.m., 12 midnight, 12 days. You segregate time for your quiz on sex, for your exam and assignment on sex. Why there are a lot of young ladies out there queuing in line that can be able to do it anytime, anywhere. Remember, we're talking about this. And the only way you can be able to satisfy is when you make it adventure. Because of our pursuit for riches, for wealth, we drive away from what God had done. God loves sex so much. It's a very good creation by God. And this is the only thing that makes the marriage to make it very, very happy. And the next person, and let me tell you, when a man is not satisfied, he hangs his hand on a window, leg in the kitchen, keep on complaining. Once he enters his gate, complain. Anything you do. Why did you think that so many men marry ugly men? It's because they have something under the offer. So there's no time, no way. Sex can be happen anytime, anyway. Even Bible didn't say this is the way you do it. So any kind of sex is acceptable, provided it's in the content of that marriage. If you like, do it in your roof. Thank you.
Mrs. Chima, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Of course, I do have something to contribute, and I'm going to come from the aspect that the only place that sex is allowed is in marriage. Outside marriage, it's a sin. So why can't couples explore their bodies, have the fun? If you put a timing on it, you've killed the joy that comes with it. I think it's better impromptu.
Let me give you an example, because I think marriage is all about understanding, and it depends on their understanding of each other. Okay, there is someone that was telling me about this couple. They have sex 2 times a year, and that 2 times a year, it has to be three rounds. That's 6 rounds in a year, and they are comfortable with it. They are okay with it. So what will you say about this? That is their own time for having sex.
My dear, if you look deeply, somebody in that marriage is cheating.
Cheating the other.
That's the thing. That was the argument there. But they were like, nobody is cheating. They are comfortable. They are okay. Although me, I ask, maybe the man is having problems or something. I don't get.
Well, it depends on whatever their issue is. But it is not normal for couples, married couples, legally constituted married couples to have sex twice a year in their marriage. For crying out loud. What are you doing with yourselves?
Where do you derive the joy?
Where do you derive the joy that keeps you going? It's not something you can say. I was even going to say some women, like, okay, in the night when we come back we have, what you telling me, 6 months? See, normal men, every normal man, the way men are created, the way they are wired, they ask for sex more than women.
I'll have to disagree with you. Women actually ask for sex more than the men.
Let's talk about our reality. Men, the way God created them, they ask for sex more than women. When it comes to sex, men are weaker. Forget about that. They say that women are weaker sex when it talks about maybe strength and physical whatever. When it comes to sex, men are weaker. A man who hasn't have sex for 6 months has a problem.
He's sick.
He has a problem because men can't go even 1 week, one whole week without sex. And you're telling me 6 months. There is no timing. It is joy. It is the companionship. You enjoy your bodies. Even when you read the Bible, Songs of Solomon, that is where you understand really what God talks about companionship and sex in marriage. You see how you should be relaxed with it. There is no timing. Can be in the afternoon, can be in the morning, can be in the night. As long as the environment is conducive and you're not, like she said, you're not spoiling kids. Your children are not seeing you. Why the timing? If you put a timing to it, you have killed the fun. Sex is better impromptu or planned.
We've been talking about the men, what they want in sex. Let's talk of the women. Women also regulate their time for sex. For most people, when they are pregnant, they don't like sex. Most women on a normal don't even like sex. Because as you said, we are weaker because we don't have enough energy and so on. So most of them, when we come back from work, when we have to deal with people at the office and everything, we just don't want sex. We just don't want it. And I believe that as a man, and as marriage is also an understanding of each other, men should actually they should regulate it. Yes, they should regulate it, because I can't come back from work all tired and everything and come and tell me let's have sex because that sex is important to me, marriage.
Okay, let me come in there. Yes, in the society we find ourselves today, so many women, because of the economic situation, everybody wants to go out there, you work, you have the kids to take care of. In fact, so many women work from as early as 4 a.m. till around 11, 12 in the night. So that energy is not there. But I remember that Bible says the woman is the home builder. Go to Proverbs 31:10. The duty of a woman, including having that sex. Sex is the only lubricant you have there. And let me tell you, let me digress more. There are some significant and characteristics aspects of this sex. This is natural phenomenon. There are so many ways you do this sex without even adding energy. But most of our women don't know. The sex doesn't mean more of penetration. No. There's a way you do this and you satisfy your man. Everybody is happy. Most in Africa, we believe our sex life should always look like a 2 WW countdown. It doesn't work that way. Sex is flows. It's something that makes you happy. Even how many of our women even takes time to kiss about 5-10 minutes? Is it not sex making? It's fun. Most times both of you are tired, but you will not take that tiredness as an excuse not to lubricate that machine. It will crash. That is where the problem is. The touching to Israel, most men, before even we talk about how women feel and other ones, so many women go to bed with jeans. Other ones will wear overall like a mechanic. And the other ones will wear a very tight rope. What are you tired?
Are they supposed to go with wrapper?
In the room, you're supposed to be naked. That is part of it. You show this man that cuffs, that makes him to relax. You mustn't have sex.
Okay.
But there are some things you will add to it and it will flow. Even after the man watching and everything, you say, oh my God, I have everything. Sleeping on top of his shoulder and touching makes things flow. In that way, you have satisfied your spouse without that even penetration and other things. Let me stop here.
Okay. Mrs. Ifeanyiwa, what do you have to say?
I will prove you wrong when you say that women don't like, they regiment their sex. Men are more vocal when it comes to their sexual feelings and emotions. We women are more on the, why say?
We pretend a lot.
Pretend
all is well
about our emotions.
Yeah.
You know,
and tag it to change.
And we don't like to sex is not about one person.
No.
It's true in Africa, like in the days of our mothers and their grandmothers, sex is for the man. But in these days of this 21st century,
It's for both.
if the marriage has to move on, if the two of them have to be happy, the two of them have to enjoy it. The man doesn't have to say, let me just give this man this thing so that he. If you're lying there and saying let him just collect it, he is not enjoying it. You are not enjoying
Well,
it.
this is what I'm talking of when the woman is tired or the man is tired.
What-
Because if
what
I
are
want
you-
to, I will just
What
just
are
do
you
it.
talking about? Tired? Don't.
You are seeing it if you're sorry.
Because
she
it's
is
as
seeing
a
it
job.
as a work. You are seeing
As a
sex
job.
as a work. Sex is not work. Sex is like relaxation.
You relax.
Sex is like swimming. Sex is like a moment of siesta. You relax, you enjoy. Even let me tell you, sex is even more sweeter when you are tired. Yes, sex gives energy. Look for any book about health. One of the components of the things that gives you health and make you last. Do you know that sex makes you have a longevity in life?
Of course.
Wow.
Sex is part of smoothing your body, just like you are rubbing cream. But the problem is that we women have not really understand the characteristics in making this sense a smoother one. If you understand, it's just like making up. You don't work when you make up. You take your time. So many
You
women
make
don't
yourself
take
look
time.
beautiful.
You make yourself to look very, very beautiful. That's the same way sex. Sex is not work. Sex is part of relaxation.
Okay.
It's not fight.
Okay, thank you very much. So far, so good. It's been an interesting journey. I know you would like to learn more, and we'll get there right after the break. Keep watching.